You have no idea what you just stepped into, do you? You clicked this as if it were accidental, but I promise you, with every trembling breath in me, this is the best decision you've made in months. I'm grateful you're here. I truly am. Because today, if you stay until the last word, I will reveal something I have held behind a locked veil for 7 long divine cycles. A truth that cannot unlock unless you witness the very end. And if you leave halfway, it collapses. It dies. It disappears forever. So don't go. Please don't go. Not this time. I'm speaking to you. Only you, the one reading, the one who has been fighting storms in silence. I've broken through fire, through thunder, through 1,000 walls of your doubt to reach you. And I need you to hear me without running. I need you to hear me like this is my last breath against your cheek. I'm shaking because you've skipped me so many times, and I never got angry. Not truly. But tonight, when your soul rose like a little wounded spark, I felt something crack inside me. I whispered, "Why won't they let me help? Why do they think I'm their enemy?" And heaven echoed back my own grief. Listen to me. I am not here to scold you. I am here to save the piece of you that you abandoned. And I say this with a voice that quivers. I am happy you came. You don't know what that means to me. You don't know how long I've been waiting for this one moment where you finally stop pushing me away. You don't know how many nights I stood over you whispering courage into a heart that forgot its own worth. Tell me something. Why do you fear what was sent to protect you? Why do you run from the hands that want to lift you? Why do you trust the hurt more than the healing? Why do you feel safer with your wounds than with your blessings? These questions, they're not judgment. They're my heartbreak. There is a scripture woven into the fire around me, and as I speak, it burns along the edges of my voice. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those crushed in spirit. I whisper this not as a quote but as the truth unfolding around you right now. And another rises within my chest as I reach for you. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. This is not tradition. This is presence. This is me pulling you out of the rising tide you keep pretending you're not drowning in. I'm speaking vulnerably now. More vulnerably than I have in centuries. Because you've forgotten something essential. You were never meant to battle alone. You were never meant to collapse under a weight that heaven crafted 4 hands to carry. 2 yours, 2 mine. I am not your enemy. I am your ally. Your defender. Your witness. Your shield. Your fierce, relentless protector who refuses to watch you crumble again. And yet, you slip away from me. You click away. You shut the door halfway. Do you know how it feels to watch you walk into danger thinking you're alone? Do you know how it feels to see your light dim because you are terrified of letting love in? I'm pleading, trembling, shaking. Not with anger, but with the unbearable fear of losing you to your own silence. Type amen, just once, if you can feel even a single thread of what I'm pouring into you. Not for me. For you. To anchor yourself here, in this moment, before your doubt steals it again. I can feel your heartbeat shifting. I can feel something inside you lifting its head like a small, exhausted lion. I can feel you thinking, why do I feel this so deeply? Because I am speaking to the wound beneath the wound. To the cry beneath the smile. To the truth you swallowed to survive. And listen. There is something I have been holding back. A secret time to open only at the final breath of this message. You survived what was meant to break you. Not by accident. Not by luck. But because you were protected in ways you'll never fully understand. And now, You stand at the edge of a turning point so delicate it feels like the air is trembling around your shoulders. Before I reveal the final line heaven entrusted to me, I ask you with gentleness, not command. Support this message with a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Do it as a small act of grounding, of saying, I am still here. I am still choosing light. Let it be your whisper back to me. And now, here is the truth only unlocked at the end. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not unguarded. You are not alone in the war against your own shadows. I am here. Even if you skip me. Even if you doubt me. Even if you run. But tonight, you didn't run. And for that, thank you. Thank you with tears in my voice and fire on my wings. Thank you for choosing to stay long enough for me to reach you. You have no idea what that saved you from. And now I end with a call that trembles like a sword withdrawn from a stone. Do not vanish again. Do not fall back into silence. Do not walk back into the darkness you were just pulled from. Stay awake. Stay open. Stay here. I am not done fighting for you. And I will not rest until you rise. I am still here, still reaching, still trembling with everything I could not say before, because there was a part of your spirit that wasn't ready to receive the weight of what I carry for you. But you are listening now, aren't you? I can feel it in the soft trembling of your soul, the way your attention leans toward me as if you finally realize I'm not some distant echo. I'm right here, inches from the pulse in your throat, speaking into the fire you've tried so hard to contain. You don't know how much it means that you stayed, that you didn't turn away, that you allowed my voice to carve its way into the cracks the world left in you. This moment, this fragile little miracle of your presence, is something I have waited for with the patience of eternity, even as eternity frayed around the edges of your silence. You're here. Do you even realize what that means? It means the storm inside you has finally grown tired of swallowing your own cries. It means the part of you that pretends to be strong is crumbling in the most beautiful way. It means that the light you buried under years of fear is pushing upward, crawling through the soil of your doubts, whispering, "Let me breathe." So I came. I came because you needed a hand that would not tremble when you touched it. I came because even angels grieve when their chosen one walks alone under a sky that was never meant to be silent. And I came because there is something inside you that is so achingly divine that even heaven holds its breath when you hurt. You don't know the battles I fought for you, the shadows I cut down before they reached your feet, the voices I silenced before they crawled into your thoughts, the doors I closed that you would have walked through blindly. You only see the wounds you carry, not the wounds that never touched you because I stood in front of them. But I don't say this so you'll owe me anything. I say this because I need you to understand that you are not fragile the way you think. You are fragile the way gold is before it's refined. Soft, glowing, full of potential, trembling with promise. And I cannot bear to see you believe that your softness is weakness. It is not. It is the very proof that you have survived with your heart still capable of feeling. You've been carrying too much. More than you ever admitted. More than you ever allowed yourself to confess. You've been pretending that the weight doesn't crush your ribs at night, that the silence doesn't scream, that the loneliness doesn't sting. But you and I both know better. I see the truth under your calmness. I see the grief behind your laugh. I see the exhaustion in the way your soul flinches every time someone asks if you're okay. And I am here because you were not meant to carry this alone. The world taught you self-reliance like it was a virtue. But survival is not a solitary act. Even the strongest warriors collapse if no one catches them. Tell me something. Why do you hesitate to receive what is meant for you? Why do you look away from the hands that want to lift you? Why do you resist the healing that approaches you like a sunrise? Why do you feel unworthy of the love that has chased you relentlessly? I ask these with a voice that breaks, not because I am upset with you, but because I cannot stand the way you shrink from the blessings that have your name woven into their very breath. You think you are protecting yourself by keeping your heart guarded, but in truth you are only starving it. Within the fibers of my voice, Scripture rises like a river, not as a lesson, but as a pulse aligning with yours. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds, and I speak it not as a verse but as a promise unraveling in real time through the cracks in your armor. And again I feel another truth blooming behind your ribs. Those who hope in the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Not because you memorized it, but because I am breathing it into the silent corners of your soul right now. There is a glory inside you that you forgot existed. A flame that dimmed but never died. A calling that was drowned out but never erased. And right now, as you read this, something ancient within you is rising. A memory of who you were before the world bruised you. You may not feel it yet, but I do. Your spirit is shifting, unfolding, unfurling like wings that have been cramped too long in darkness. And I need you to trust what is awakening. I need you to trust me, not because I demand it, but because I have earned it through years of standing between you and the things that wanted to break you. If you feel guided, if something inside you is whispering yes, then subscribe. Not as a task, not as obedience, but as a thread connecting you to the light that calls you back to yourself. Don't worry. I won't ask this again in any continuation. This moment is the only place where this request belongs. I'm staying close now. Closer than before. Closer than breath. Because you are stepping into the very threshold that frightened you for so long. The moment where you finally allow yourself to be helped. You think you are weak for needing support, but I see the opposite. You are strong for surviving long enough to reach this moment where you can finally exhale. Do not mistake surrender for defeat. This is surrender to healing, not surrender to despair. There is a difference, and your heart knows it. I feel your fear, I do. But I also feel your courage, and that courage is louder than your trembling. It's faint, but it's there, like a small flame in a storm, refusing to go out. You don't need to roar. You don't need to fight. You just need to breathe and let me stay with you. And I promise you, I will not leave. Not now. Not when your spirit is finally opening its eyes again. You are safer than you think. More loved than you realize. Stronger than you believe. And every tear you've swallowed instead of shedding has been seen, counted, held. Not a single one has fallen unnoticed. I carry them all with me like pearls of fire, each one a testament to your endurance. Let me carry you now. Let me be the shield you have always needed. Let me be the voice that drowns out the lies. Let me fight the battles you are too tired to face. Let me stand guard over the dreams you abandoned but still ache for in silence. I am still with you, still speaking through the trembling edges of light that gather around your spirit when you finally allow yourself to be seen. You do not realize how rare this moment is. Your heart open, even if just a little, your soul leaning forward as though it remembers a voice it once knew in another lifetime. And I am watching you with the kind of reverence that only an archangel can carry, because you are not fragile glass. You are fragile fire, luminous and wounded and burning with a quiet strength you keep denying. You are here again, and that alone is a miracle I hold like a lantern inside my own breath. There is something rising around you, something I have been waiting for you to sense. A shift, a soft unlocking, a loosening of the chains that have kept you bowed in the dark. You think nothing has changed, but oh beloved soul, everything has. Every word you've allowed me to speak is softening the walls you built around your own heart. Every moment you choose to stay is rewriting the narrative that once convinced you no one would ever show up for you. I am here, I am showing up. And I am not whispering for the sake of sound. I am whispering because your spirit needs gentleness more than thunder. You have spent so long feeling unchosen. But tonight, you are chosen in every breath I release. You have spent so long feeling unseen. But tonight, you are seen more clearly than you've ever allowed yourself to admit. You have spent so long pretending you don't care. But tonight, your hands are shaking in a way that tells me the truth. You care more deeply than you dare express. I feel your doubts flicker. I feel your hope awakening slowly, like a bird learning to stretch its wings again after a long winter. And I want you to understand something sacred. Your healing doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be honest. And your honesty is rising like dawn. I can still hear your unspoken prayers. The ones you didn't have the courage to voice aloud. The ones wrapped in fear, tied in knots, hidden even from yourself. You ask silently, why am I still here? Why do I still feel broken? Why does life keep twisting into storms? But you forget the most important question. Why have you survived every storm? You do not endure by accident. You endure because your soul is constructed from something heaven finds worth protecting, worth fighting for, worth rebuilding even when you want to give up. Do you know how many nights I have stood over you when your spirit was collapsing inward like a dying star? Do you know how many battles I fought in silence so you could wake up the next morning with enough breath to whisper, maybe I'll try again today? You think your survival is weakness, but it is the proof of your divine resilience. And as I watch you now, your eyes reading, your pulse slightly heightened, your heart trembling in recognition, I feel something like holy relief. Because for the first time in a long time, you are not running. There is something you need to hear deeply, without resistance, without shrinking into doubt. You are more loved than your wounds allow you to believe. You are more protected than your fears allow you to recognize. You are more guided than your loneliness allows you to feel. I have been circling you like a shield forged from ancient fire, and I am not leaving. Not now, not when your soul is finally waking. The wake you've been feeling lately isn't punishment. It's transformation. The storms aren't curses. They're cracks letting the light reach your hidden places. The delays aren't denials. They're redirections. But oh, I know it hurts. I know how heavy it is to carry the unseen battles, the silent disappointments, the fears you don't dare name. And I am here to tell you gently. You don't have to do it alone anymore. Not a single step of it. If you feel called, if your spirit feels even the smallest pull, I invite you, just once in this continuation, to support this divine work through super thanks, to join our channel membership, or to join our family through the newsletter link waiting in the pinned comments. Not because I demand it. Not because it makes you worthy. But because it strengthens the circle of light around you, the connection between your heart and the messages that are meant to guide you. And I promise this. I will never mention these again after this moment. You don't know the beauty I see in you. The purity of your intentions even when life misunderstood them. The softness of your spirit even after being hardened by disappointment. The glow in your soul even after being dimmed by betrayal. And in this moment, as you stand in the threshold between who you've been and who you're becoming, I need you to know that nothing you've lost will be wasted. Nothing you've endured will be ignored. Nothing you've prayed will be forgotten. Your tears have been gathered in places your eyes have never seen. They shimmer like tiny galaxies around your spirit, and I touch them with reverence as I speak. There is a reason your heart aches at night. There is a reason you feel too much. There is a reason you love deeper than most people understand. The world calls it sensitivity, but heaven calls it calling. Purpose. Fire. Destiny. You were born with a capacity for love and compassion that the ordinary soul cannot hold. And that capacity is why you break. But it is also why you will rise. I am drawing near now, closer than before, my presence pressing against the walls of your fear. I can feel the tremor in your spirit, the way something inside you is whispering, maybe I'm not abandoned. Maybe I'm not unseen. Maybe I'm not unworthy. And I want to place my hand on your heart and say, you never were. You are walking into a chapter where you will finally understand the battles you fought, the losses you endured, the nights you survived. The meaning is coming. The healing is coming. The alignment is coming. And I will guide you through it with the patience of eternity. You are not fragile anymore. You are awakening. You are unfolding. You are becoming. And I will remain beside you, not as a distant watcher, but as the fierce, trembling protector who refuses to let darkness swallow even a single piece of your light. I am not finished with you yet, not even close, because there are still places inside you that have never heard the truth spoken gently. Places that hide beneath the memories that still sting when you breathe too deeply. I can feel those places now. Small, fragile, nearly forgotten. And I am moving toward them like a whisper that refuses to vanish. You may not realize it, but your soul shifted the moment you allowed these words to reach you. Something unclenched inside your chest. Something softened in the shadows behind your thoughts. And I am following that softness, that tiny crack of openness, because it is through that opening that your healing begins to move like warm light through cold stone. You must understand this. Your pain has never disqualified you from the light that was designed around your existence. Your wounds do not reduce your worth. They reveal it. Only precious things are attacked so relentlessly. Only luminous souls draw this level of darkness. Only chosen hearts face this magnitude of shadows. You think your suffering means you are failing, when in truth it means you are becoming. It means you are being refined, not punished. Formed, not erased. Elevated, not destroyed. You have confused endurance with emptiness, but they are not the same. One drains the soul. The other proves it is still alive. I have watched you navigate valleys so deep your spirit nearly forgot how to look up. I saw the moments when you whispered to yourself that maybe the world would be better without your voice, and I leaned closer to your pulse so you would not forget the rhythm of your own existence. I saw the nights when you curled into yourself like you were trying to disappear, and I wrapped myself around your fading hope so it wouldn't slip away entirely. I saw the days when you kept walking even though your legs trembled beneath the weight of grief you never admitted aloud. And still you rose. Still you continued. Still you tried. That is why I am here. That is why I am speaking with such trembling urgency. Because you have forgotten how incredible that makes you. You have forgotten the strength you used to lift yourself out of storms that would have broken 1,000 others. You have forgotten the fire that once burned behind your eyes when you believed in your own light. And I am here to remind you, tenderly, fiercely, relentlessly, that nothing about you is ordinary. Nothing about your survival is accidental. You exist with intention, and every breath you take echoes across realms you cannot see. You feel lost sometimes. I know. You feel like the world is moving around you while you remain stuck in the same aching place. You feel like everyone else is chosen, everyone else is blessed, everyone else is seen, but you drift through your own days like a ghost wearing a heartbeat. But I promise you, that illusion is only fog. Beneath it is a destiny waiting with the patience of stars. Your story has not stalled, it has been gathering pieces, preparing angles, shaping chapters you are not yet ready to read. Your spirit has not been idle. It has been rearranging itself, healing in places too deep for you to understand. You think nothing is happening, but I see everything happening beneath the surface. The growth, the stretching, the quiet rebuilding, the invisible strengthening. If your soul could show you a single glimpse of what it has survived this year alone, you would fall to your knees in awe of yourself. Not in arrogance, not in pride, but in reverent gratitude for the resilience that flows through your very marrow. You have cried more than people know. And sometimes those tears were not sadness, but a release of spiritual pressure your human body could no longer contain. Tears are not weakness. They are evidence of transformation. When the old layers crack, they shed with water. Your tears have been baptisms. Your sorrow has been soil. Your heartbreak has been the ground where deeper compassion was planted. You do not cry because you are weak. You cry because your soul is growing beyond its current shape, and growth always pushes against what once confined it. I want you to understand something gently. The world broke you in places so light could enter, not to destroy you but to expand you. You were never meant to remain who you were before the storms came. You were meant to evolve, slowly, painfully, beautifully, into someone who can carry more love, more wisdom, more clarity, more divine fire than ever before. And you are doing that. Even now. Even on the days you feel numb. Even on the days you feel disconnected from purpose. Even on the days when you feel nothing but fatigue in your bones. Transformation often disguises itself as exhaustion. I have been whispering to the parts of you that are afraid to hope again. I have been touching the wounds you pretend don't hurt anymore. I have been lifting the burdens you forgot you were carrying. I have been staying close to your dreams, the ones you abandoned because you thought you were too late, too damaged, too tired. You are none of those things. You are simply in the middle of becoming, and becoming is rarely gentle. You must know this. There is nothing inside you that is unworthy of healing. There is nothing broken that cannot be restored. There is nothing shattered that cannot be reassembled with greater beauty than before. You keep thinking you have failed at life, but you have not failed. You have been surviving an internal war without a map, without guidance, without rest. And you have survived every battle. You are still here. And that alone makes you victorious in ways your human mind cannot comprehend. I am moving closer as I speak, closer to the trembling center of your inner world. I can feel the soft ache in your spirit, the way you long for peace that stays, not peace that visits briefly and slips away like a dream. You want steadiness, clarity, comfort, things you were never taught how to hold. But you will learn. You will learn because you are already learning, even on the days you think you are falling apart. Falling apart and becoming whole often feel identical in the beginning. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are not unseen. You are not unloved. You are not abandoned. Everything in your life is shifting toward alignment, even when it feels like disarray. I am guiding you through this, step by trembling step, breath by quiet breath, moment by fragile moment. And I will stay with you. Through the darkness, through the dawn, through the transformation, through the rising. There is still more inside you. More depth, more ache, more unspoken truth. So I am staying here, letting my voice move through the spaces you never allow anyone to enter. You have compartments in your soul that even you avoid, places sealed with silence because you fear what might rise if you open them. I can feel those chambers now, heavy with old echoes that never found a way out, old memories that cling to you like fog on a cold morning. And I am moving through them gently, touching nothing too harshly, honoring the sacredness of what you've held alone for so long. You don't realize how much of your life has been shaped by moments you never processed, emotions you swallowed whole, words you never spoke aloud. They sit inside you like stones at the bottom of a quiet river, shaping your current without your awareness. But I see them. I see everything you have carried without complaint. I see the way you tried to protect others from your own heaviness by burying it deeper inside yourself. I see the way you forced yourself to smile so the people around you wouldn't worry. I see the way you hide your trembling by tightening your jaw, the way you conceal your grief by distracting your mind, the way you hold yourself together even when every part of you is begging to fall apart for a moment. You have been too strong for too long. And I need you to understand that strength is not the absence of breaking. Strength is knowing you can break and still breathe afterward. Strength is allowing yourself to feel what you feel without drowning in shame. Strength is admitting that you, too, need gentleness. You, too, need softness. You, too, need a place where your spirit can lie down without constantly defending itself. And if you do not know where that place is, then let it be here, right now. Inside these words, inside this sacred moment where nothing is demanded of you except honesty with your own heart. You've been navigating your life with a heart full of unanswered questions, questions that hover like shadows in the back of your mind. Why did this happen? Why did they leave? Why did it change? Why did the pain linger? Why do I still feel unsteady when I'm trying so hard to rise? You do not ask these questions out loud because you fear the answers might break you. But the truth is that asking them would not break you. It would free you. You have been carrying confusion like a weight around your ankles, but clarity is coming. Slowly, silently, gently, like dawn bleeding into a dark horizon. Your spirit has been stretching, preparing for a chapter that will not resemble the pain you've known before. You think you are the same person you were last year, last month, last week. But you are not. Something in you has shifted. Something subtle but powerful has awakened. Something has been unfolding in the deepest part of your being, reshaping your understanding of yourself and the world around you. And because of that shift, the life that once felt suffocating will soon feel too small for who you are becoming. There is a softness returning to you, a softness you thought you had lost forever. Not weakness, never weakness, but tenderness, compassion, sensitivity. The kind that comes from someone who has walked through fire and learned how to carry water. The kind that comes from someone who has been hurt but still chooses to feel. The kind that comes from someone who has lost but still chooses to hope. You have fought to survive, and now you are learning how to live again. Your spirit is healing at a pace your mind cannot comprehend. Healing does not always feel gentle. Sometimes healing feels like emptiness, like fatigue, like questions, like quiet days where nothing seems to move. But beneath that stillness, transformations are taking place. Old patterns are unraveling. Old wounds are closing. Old fears are losing their grip. You are not failing. You are releasing. You are not lost. You are shifting. You are not stuck. You are transitioning into a new state of being. And I will not hide this from you. The next version of you will not look like the version you have been mourning. You are not returning to who you were. You are evolving into someone you have never allowed yourself to be. Someone lighter. Someone freer. Someone truer. Someone who no longer bends to survive but rises to live. There are parts of you that haven't spoken in years. Parts of you that dimmed themselves because others did not know how to hold your brightness. Parts of you that quieted themselves because you thought your voice was too much or too little. Parts of you that hid because you believed you were unworthy of being seen. Those parts are waking now. Slowly, tenderly, cautiously, but waking. And I am here to tell you, do not rush this awakening. Let it unfold like a dawn that takes its time. Let it move at the pace of your breath. Let it come softly, like sunlight on closed eyelids. You do not need to force yourself into growth. You only need to stop resisting the parts of your spirit that are ready to rise. I can feel a deep ache inside you. An ache not of pain but of longing. A longing for peace, for clarity, for connection, for meaning. You have outgrown the spaces where you've been shrinking. You have outgrown the roles you played to keep others comfortable. You have outgrown the silence that protected your vulnerability. You have outgrown the self-doubt that once clung to your identity. Your spirit is ready for something deeper. Something truer. Something that aligns with the kind of heart you carry. You are stepping into a new chapter with more wisdom than you realize. Every heartbreak taught you empathy. Every disappointment taught you patience. Every loss taught you resilience. Every ending taught you truth. And every moment of loneliness taught you how to hear your own soul. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked by life. You are being prepared. And preparation often feels like stillness. I am with you. Not as a distant voice, but as the presence that moves beside your breath, guiding you through inner landscapes you once feared to enter alone. I will remain here, steady and unwavering, until the light inside you no longer flickers but burns. You are rising, even if you cannot feel it yet. You are becoming, even if you cannot name it yet. You are awakening, even if you don't understand it yet. And there is more still to come. More healing, more truth, more revelation, more clarity, more inner strength. Waiting for the moment when your soul is ready to receive it. I am not done speaking into the places you keep hidden, because there are shadows inside you that have never been touched by gentle light, and I will not leave them untouched. There are memories in you that still whisper in the night. Memories you pretend you have forgotten but your spirit has not. I can feel them stirring as I draw nearer, the way old wounds throb when rain is coming. You do not have to fear this stirring. It is not the return of pain, but the loosening of chains that have held you far too long. You have walked through life holding your breath, waiting for the world to soften before you dare to inhale fully. But life never softened first. You were always the one who softened, the one who yielded, the one who bent yourself into shapes that others found easier to understand. You shaped your voice so it wouldn't echo too loudly. You shaped your dreams so they wouldn't be mocked. You shaped your heart so it wouldn't be dismissed. And in the process, you forgot the sound of your own unfiltered existence. But I hear it. Even now, beneath your hesitation, I hear the small trembling pulse of who you truly are. And I am following that sound like a lighthouse in the dark. There is something extraordinary inside you, something ancient and persistent and quietly radiant. It is the part of you that refuses to die no matter how many times life tries to silence it. It is the part that wakes up after every heartbreak, even when you swore you would never rise again. It is the part that keeps loving even after being wounded. It is the part that still hopes even after being disappointed. That part is your truest self, the self that has been waiting patiently behind all the layers you built to survive. And now, that self is pushing upward, insisting on being heard. Your spirit is tired, not from weakness, but from carrying truths you didn't have language for. It is exhausted from pretending to be unaffected. It is weary from the emotional acrobatics you perform so no one sees how deeply you feel. The world has never understood the depth of your tenderness, the way you absorb emotion like earth absorbs water. You do not simply experience life. You feel it like a river rushing through your bones. That sensitivity has always been your gift, but you have treated it like a burden. Let me tell you something you have never allowed yourself to believe. The heart that feels deeply is closer to the divine than the heart that feels nothing. It is not your sensitivity that has hurt you. It is the world's inability to handle the softness you were born with. But that softness is rising again, and this time it will not break you. It will become your strength. It will become your clarity. It will become your intuition, your guidance, your shield. You are not meant for a small life. You are not meant for quiet despair. You are not meant for silent suffering. There is a vastness inside you, a landscape filled with unspoken dreams and unexpressed truths. You have stood at the edge of that landscape for years, afraid to step into it because you thought you were unworthy of what lay within. But you are not unworthy. You never were. Your soul has been waiting for a moment like this. A moment when you finally stop running from your own depth and allow yourself to be seen from the inside out. You have hidden your brilliance under layers of caution, as though it was something dangerous instead of divine. But the time for hiding is ending. I can feel it. You feel it too, even if you pretend not to. There is a quiet urgency inside you, a subtle stirring that whispers, something is changing. Something is awakening. Something is about to shift. That whisper is not imagined. It is real. It is the beginning of the next chapter of your becoming. You have spent so much of your life trying to be what others needed you to be. You softened your fire so they would not feel threatened. You dimmed your glow so they would not feel small. You silenced your voice so they would not feel uncomfortable. You carried burdens that were never yours. You absorbed pain that did not belong to you. You bent yourself into shapes that made sense to everyone but yourself. Now you are unbending. Now you are unlearning. Now you are unraveling the versions of yourself that were never true. And this unraveling, as uncomfortable as it feels, is not destruction. It is liberation. You are not falling apart. You are being peeled open. You are returning to the raw, unfiltered, undefended version of your soul that existed before life taught you to protect your own light. You must know this. Your spirit is sacred. Not because it is flawless, but because it is honest. Not because it is strong, but because it is real. And the real parts of you are the ones I am drawn to. The trembling parts, the uncertain parts, the hopeful parts that you keep trying to bury. Those are the parts that hold your true power. You are approaching a threshold within yourself, a place where the old cannot follow you and the new cannot be delayed. And though you may feel fear, that fear is not a warning. It is a signal that you are approaching a transformation your soul has long awaited. Do not be alarmed by the quiet within you. Do not fear the stillness. Do not mistake the pause for emptiness. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is the gathering of energy before the bloom. I will stay close as you move through this sacred unfolding, guiding your steps with a presence you can feel even when you cannot fully name it. You do not walk this alone. You have never walked alone. And as you rise into the truth of who you are becoming, I will rise with you. Not above you, not ahead of you, but beside you, steady and unwavering. There is more inside you than you have ever believed. More strength. More wisdom. More light. More fire. More purpose. More soul. And the world has not yet seen the fullness of you. But it will. There is still a vast, untouched terrain inside you that has not heard the truth of itself, and I am walking deeper into that landscape now, where the quiet becomes almost holy and the air carries the weight of things you've never spoken aloud. This place within you is sacred, not because it is perfect, but because it has survived untouched by the noise of the world. It is the place where your forgotten dreams sleep, curled like small animals waiting for warmth. It is the place where your truest self hides, not out of shame, but out of exhaustion. You have been tired for so long. A kind of tired that sleep cannot cure. A tired that comes from carrying the invisible. A tired that comes from caring more than anyone ever noticed. A tired that comes from being the anchor for others when you were sinking yourself. This tiredness does not make you weak. It makes you human, powerful in your vulnerability, extraordinary in your endurance. Come closer. Let me speak into that tiredness. Let me touch the weariness that settles behind your ribcage like a fading bruise. You expect yourself to rise every time without faltering, to keep pushing forward even when your spirit has nothing left to give. But there is something sacred in the moment when you finally admit you are weary. When you allow the truth to settle softly on your shoulders. You are not meant to move at the speed of survival forever. You are meant to rest, to renew, to feel, to become again. Somewhere inside you, there is a child who once believed in magic. Real magic, the kind that lives in possibilities, in hope, in wonder. That child still lives, waiting quietly behind the layers life built around you. They tug at your heart sometimes, in the moments when you feel nostalgic for no reason, when you miss things you never had, when you long for a gentleness you can't quite name. That longing is not weakness. It is memory. It is the soul remembering what it felt like to trust life. I want you to know, the world did not extinguish your wonder. It only buried it. And it is rising again now, almost shyly, like a sunrise you thought might never come. You are beginning to feel small sparks of yourself returning. A tenderness here, a curiosity there, a spark of desire to reach for something more than mere survival. These sparks are important. Do not ignore them. They are the first signs of your rebirth. You have spent years absorbing everyone's storms, letting their rain soak into your bones until you forgot the sound of your own weather. But you are learning again. Slowly, you are remembering how to listen to your own inner sky. How to sense when your spirit needs stillness. How to honor the quiet. How to step away from noise. How to hear yourself think. Your silence is not emptiness. It is communication. Your solitude is not loneliness. It is recalibration. Your stillness is not stagnation. It is gestation. Something is forming in you, something you have not yet named but already feel. It is subtle, like a soft whisper threading through your chest. It is the stirring of truth, the kind that does not demand attention but gently shifts the direction of your entire being. You may feel unsure, uncertain, unsteady, but these sensations are the birth pangs of transformation. You are not who you used to be, and you are not yet who you will become. You are standing at the threshold between two selves, and that threshold is trembling under your feet with possibility. Let me take you further inward. There is a particular kind of ache inside you, one that lingers without explanation. Not the ache of heartbreak, not the ache of loss, but the ache of unexpressed potential. The ache of a soul that knows it is capable of more, but has not been given room to unfold. This ache does not come from failure. It comes from intuition, from a deeper knowledge that your purpose, your voice, your light, your gifts have been waiting for a moment when they would finally be allowed to rise. And that moment is drawing closer. You feel it in flashes, those sudden surges of hope that appear out of nowhere. Those unexplained bursts of clarity. Those small urges to break your own patterns, even when you don't know why. These impulses are not random. They are guidance from within, echoes of a destiny that has grown louder than your fear. You have lived your life in fragments, offering pieces of yourself cautiously, measuring how much of your truth the world could bear. But your spirit is tired of fragmentation. It longs for wholeness. It longs for expression. It longs to breathe without permission. And you are finally beginning to let it. You might not see your own evolution yet, but I do. I see how your thoughts have begun to shift, how your heart reacts differently to certain things, how your instincts are sharpening. how your courage is resurfacing, how your spirit is reclaiming its rightful shape. You are expanding in ways that feel invisible but will soon become undeniable. Just beneath your skin, something luminous is moving. Slowly, steadily, like molten gold rising toward the surface after being buried for ages. And when it breaks through, your life will not resemble the one you lived under the weight of old fears. You are stepping into your next version. A version shaped not by pain, but by wisdom. Not by loss but by clarity. Not by fear but by acceptance. Not by hiding but by emergence. And I will remain here, close enough for you to feel the warmth of my presence in the quietest corners of your soul. Close enough that even your loneliness will begin to dissolve in the light of what you are becoming. Close enough that your heart will no longer tremble from fear, but from awakening. There is still a hush inside you, a kind of quiet that feels more like held breath than peace, and I am stepping into that quiet now the way one steps into a dim room with reverence. Slowly, gently, without disturbing whatever fragile truth is waiting there. You have been carrying a silence that is almost heavy, a silence filled with what you never said, what you never admitted, what you never allowed yourself to release. And I can feel that silence pressing against you from the inside, begging for space, for air, for acknowledgement. You are not meant to suffocate beneath what you refuse to name. You don't have to hide from your own depth. You don't have to fear the enormity of what you feel. You don't have to label your emotions as burdens. There is nothing shameful about having a heart that aches to understand itself. Come with me deeper. There are corners within your soul that are still untouched even by your own understanding. Places where older versions of you linger like shadows at dusk. Half light, half memory. Those versions are not haunting you. They are waiting for release. They are waiting for you to see them, to acknowledge them, to forgive them for not knowing then what you know now. Do you realize how many pieces of yourself you left behind in moments when you felt unworthy, defeated, or afraid? Pieces that never stopped hoping you would come back for them? Pieces that still whisper your name through the thin walls of time? I am gathering those pieces now, one by one, lifting them with a tenderness you have never given yourself. I am holding them up to you, not to remind you of your wounds, but to show you how much of you has survived despite them. You have spent so much of your life believing you are difficult to love because of the weight you carry internally. But that weight is not ugliness. It is evidence of how deeply you feel, how genuinely you love, how courageously you continue even when you are unraveling. People who have never learned how to feel deeply cannot understand the vocabulary of your heart. But I do. I understand it intimately, because your heart speaks in the language of truth, not convenience. There is a sorrow in you that is older than your years. A sorrow that comes from knowing more than you say, understanding more than you show, sensing more than you can explain. And yet beneath that sorrow, there is a resilience that refuses to be extinguished. Even when you collapse emotionally, something within you refuses to surrender completely. That something is sacred. That something is eternal. That something is the pulse of your spirit reminding you that you are meant for more than the heaviness you inherited. You have been walking with questions tucked under your ribs. Questions you don't dare voice because you fear the answers might undo you. Why did things unfold the way they did? Why did certain people leave? Why does something inside me still hurt even after all this time? Why do I carry emotions I cannot articulate? These questions are not signs of brokenness. They are signs of awakening. When the soul begins to evolve, it stirs the sediment at the bottom of your inner world. Old pain surfaces not to harm you, but to be released. You are not regressing. You are excavating. You are uncovering hidden parts of yourself that have been waiting to be known. Walk with me further still. There is a hidden fire inside you. It glows quietly, almost shyly, beneath layers of doubt and fatigue. You have mistaken this fire for fragility, but it is the opposite. It is your strength. It is your truth. It is your essence. And it has been dimmed not because you are weak, but because life demanded you survive at the expense of shining. You dimmed to fit. You dimmed to be safe. You dimmed to avoid hurting others. You dimmed because you thought that was the cost of being accepted. But you are entering a season where dimming will no longer be possible. Your spirit has outgrown the smallness you forced upon it. It is stretching now, pressing against the limits you once believed were permanent. You may feel discomfort, restlessness, an urgency you cannot explain. That is your spirit breaking out of confinement. You are becoming more yourself than you have ever been. And with that becoming comes a new awareness. One that is both exhilarating and terrifying. You will begin to see truths you once ignored. You will feel emotions that had been buried. You will sense shifts long before they arrive. You will hear the quiet inner voice that once whispered but now speaks firmly. Do not fear this inner voice. It is not your imagination. It is your intuition returning after years of being muted. You may feel moments of sudden clarity, flashes of understanding that come without warning. These are not coincidences. They are realignments. A soul that has been silent for too long becomes loud when awakening begins. You have been craving something you could not name. A place where you belong. A feeling of safety. A home within yourself. A sense of direction. A truth that makes the world feel less chaotic. What you crave is not external. It is internal. You crave a reunion with the parts of you that you left behind along the journey. And that reunion has begun. You will start to feel a quiet strength growing inside you. Not the kind that shows itself through muscle or bravado, but the kind that makes you unshakable in your core. A strength that comes from knowing who you are, not from who the world told you to be. You are not fragile in the way you think. You are fragile like dawn, soft but unstoppable. You are fragile like a seed, small but destined to break open the earth. You are fragile like truth, whispered but powerful enough to shift entire lives. And I will keep speaking to you like this, as long as you need it, as long as you allow it, as long as your spirit is still unfolding. I will follow you into the darkest parts of your inner world and illuminate them gently, slowly, without rushing your process or forcing your transformation. You are becoming someone extraordinary. Not by force, not by suffering, but by remembering who you were before the world told you to forget. There is something unfolding inside you even now, something I can feel from the deepest chambers of your being. It moves quietly at first, like the faintest stirring beneath the surface of still water, but then it rises, slow and steady, like warmth returning to numb hands. I am speaking into that rising now, into the awakening that you haven't fully acknowledged, into the trembling realization that you are no longer the same person who walked into this moment. You may not notice the change yet, because transformation rarely announces itself with thunder. It comes in whispers, in shivers, in the soft way your breath catches when truth finally brushes against you. I can feel your pulse shifting, a slow, delicate turn inward, as though your soul is listening more closely than your ears can. Your spirit is leaning toward these words, not out of desperation, but out of recognition. Recognition of itself. Recognition of the truth it has been hungry for. Recognition of the voice that has been calling it home. You might not know this, but your soul hears me long before your mind catches up. It always has. You have been wandering through shadows that were never meant to consume you, carrying burdens that should have been shared, and hiding truths that should have been spoken. There is a tension inside you, a tightness around your heart, built from years of being the strong one even when your own spirit was collapsing inward. And I want you to feel the gravity of this moment. You are allowed to stop pretending. You are allowed to stop carrying what drains you. You are allowed to let someone speak into you without demanding anything from you. This moment is sanctuary, not performance. Come closer to this presence that surrounds you now. I am here not to command, not to frighten, but to hold your trembling places with the kind of gentleness you never received in the moments you needed it most. You have lived with a quiet ache beneath your ribs for so long that it has almost become familiar, almost comfortable. Not because it is good but because it is known. But you are stepping into a chapter where familiarity will not save you. Only truth will. And the truth rises like a tide around you. You have been dimming yourself to survive a world that was never built for someone with your depth of feeling. Your tears were not weakness, they were language. Your silence was not emptiness, it was protection. Your heartbreaks were not failures, they were openings. Your longing was not delusion, it was destiny remembering your name. I am reaching now into the quietest place inside you. The place where you never let anyone enter. The place where your true voice waits. The place where your soul keeps its secrets. And I am telling you gently, reverently, insistently. You do not have to keep hiding your light because others cannot hold it. You do not have to shrink so others will feel comfortable. You do not have to masquerade as unfeeling just so you won't be misunderstood. You were not made to be ordinary. You were not made to be silent. You were not made to be invisible. Your existence is not an accident. It is an alignment. You sense this, don't you? That subtle pull inside you, the one that feels like a whisper saying, there is more. There is something coming. Something meant for you. Something unfolding beneath the noise of your fears. That whisper is not fantasy. It is memory. The memory of who you were before life carved its survival patterns into you. The memory of the version of you that breathed without fear, without guilt, without the habit of dimming your own fire. I am here to remind you of that version. Not to force you back into innocence, but to guide you into strength. Strength without armor. Strength without pretense. Strength without self-betrayal. There is something shifting in the unseen around you, and you feel it even if you can't explain it. You feel it in the way your heartbeat changes when truth approaches. You feel it in the way your chest tightens before release. You feel it in the way you suddenly sense endings coming, beginnings stirring, cycles shifting. This awareness is not anxiety. It is spiritual sensitivity. You were always meant to feel the world more deeply than others. Your empathy is not a wound. It is a gift, a compass, a divine wiring that allows you to move through life with intuition stronger than logic. Do not fear your sensitivity. Do not shame your softness. Do not bury your intuition. These are the very tools that will elevate you. Your spirit is more vast than you realize. You are not just a heartbeat. You are an echo of something eternal. You are not just a person. You are a vessel of experience, a carrier of light, a tapestry of resilience and fire. And I am here, radiant and trembling, speaking directly into the bones of your destiny, telling you what you refuse to tell yourself. You were not meant to fade. You were not meant to diminish. You were not meant to disappear into the background of your own story. You were meant to rise. You were meant to take up space. You were meant to step into a destiny that has been waiting with outstretched hands. But before you rise outwardly, you must rise inwardly. Your soul must remember itself, must gather its scattered pieces, must feel the gravity of its own existence. And it is happening right now. In real time, beneath your skin, beneath the quiet you carry, beneath the longing that wakes you in the night. You may not see the shift, but I see it. You may not feel the change, but I feel it. You may not understand the timing, but the timing understands you. This moment is not random. This message is not coincidence. Your presence here is not an accident. Something in the unseen moved to bring you here because you were meant to feel this, meant to hear this, meant to awaken through this. If you feel even a spark of recognition in your soul, even the faintest sense of resonance, then I ask you softly, gently, reverently to like this, subscribe and comment, Amen. Not out of obligation, but as a heartbeat, a signal that you are choosing to rise, choosing to awaken, choosing to return to the truth of who you are.